But today we are going to start our topic, that is conductance. I think yesterday we did its definition. What is conductance? It is the reciprocal of resistance, or it is denoted by symbol G. G is equal to 1 by R. Conductance is in this one, reciprocal of resistance. Then beta, we know the formula of resistance, R is equal to P by I according to Ohm's law. So if we substitute the value here, it will be V over I, 1 divided by V over I. So it will become I divided by V. So now come to this graph. This is IV graph. I is taken on the y-axis and V is taken on the x-axis. So they can ask you, and you see it is a straight line which starts from the origin. Then they can ask you, what does the slope of IV graph represent? Slope means, again repetition is there beta, slope is coordinate of y divided by coordinate of x. Now what is coordinate of y? That we have represented it by current. What is coordinate of x? That we have represented by v. So slope will be equal to I divided by v. Now what is I divided by v beta? From here please see, it is equal to G, or it is equal to conductance. So the slope of the IV graph gives us conductance. That 1 mark question they can ask you. After that beta, our next is, what is the unit of conductance? Its unit. From here please see, its unit should be 1 divided by, because resistance is measured in ohm. And if we will write it like that, we will write, it is read as per ohm. If we will take it this ohm in the numerator, beta its power will become -1. And how we will read it? We will read it like, we will read it per ohm or sine. Its second unit is sine, per ohm or sine. Then after that beta, come to this diagram. This is the experimental verification of Ohm's law. Firstly the scientists, what they are doing? They are performing the experiments. Then after that they are giving us laws. So for that beta, what did it take? One battery is there. This is a rheostat. This is ammeter. Then this is a resistance wire. This is a key, and this is voltmeter. All these are the necessary equipments of Ohm's law for proving the Ohm's law. Then function, I think everybody knows. This is the source of current, battery is source of current. It will put on or off the circuit. Key will put on or off the circuit. Voltmeter will be used to measure the potential difference. This is a resistance wire, bache. This resistance wire will offer the obstruction in the path of current. This ammeter, it will measure the current. And the rheostat will, we can control the amount of current. If we want to increase or we want to decrease, we will use this device. Then yesterday I told you beta, ammeter is always arranged in series, voltmeter is arranged in parallel. Series means you see it is having two terminals, positive and negative terminal. both the terminals are attached with different device. The negative terminal is attached with the rheostat and positive terminal is attached with the resistance wire. So ammeter is in series combination. And second, you have to take care, the negative terminal, you see beta, indirectly it is attached with the negative of the battery, and positive it is attached with the positive of the battery. Then voltmeter is connected in parallel. Parallel means it's both the terminals, they are arranged with common device. Common device means this resistance wire is here. With that resistance wire we have connected its positive and negative terminal. This means it is in parallel combination. Again, its positive terminal is attached with the positive of the battery and its negative is attached with the negative of the battery. Then beta, what he did? Firstly, the circuit was off. Means circuit was open only, low current was flowing. This was also 0. Here also it was 0. Then we will put the key. We are doing that experiment in the lab also in 10th standard. So when we will insert the key in the circuit, what will happen? Here will be some reading on the voltmeter, some reading will be there, on the ammeter some reading will be there. But what we have to do? We have to adjust the value of rheostat. At the beta, one knob is there. This one that they have shown, that we are saying jockey. We are giving it. We are moving it towards left side or towards right side. Then we have to make the ammeter's reading as minimum as possible. The reading must be minimum on the ammeter. Then we will note down the reading from ammeter. Then automatically some change will be reading in the voltmeter also. We will note down the reading from the voltmeter also. Then after that again we will give some movement to the jockey. Now ammeter's reading must be increased. We have to arrange it like that. When here some increase will be there, voltmeter will also show some increase. Then beta, in this way you have to take 3-4 set of readings, and you will notice that when you will find the value of every set, you will notice that R is equal to V by I, because you will make one table like this is serial number, this will be value of I, this is value of V, this is value of R. Serial number, like you have taken 3 sets, 1, 2 and 3. Suppose that on the this one ammeter, the value of current is beta, suppose that here 2 is there. On the voltmeter also there is 2. Then what will be the value of R? That will be V divided by I, 2 divided by 2, it will be 1. Then in the second reading also you will notice that here some reading will be there, here some reading will be there, but R should be 1. In the third reading also it should be 1. And this proves that Ohm's law. For Ohm's law, this R must be constant. For ohmic conductors, for ohmic resistors, this R must be constant. And after that beta, we have to draw the graph. Here points will be there. We have taken I on the x-axis, V on the y-axis. So this is VI graph. That is called VI graph. Then you will take the points from that one column of V. You will make the graph here. You will substitute the points here. In the same way, from I you will collect the points from here and you will mark them here. And you will notice that it will be a straight line, but that will be for ohmic conductors or ohmic resistors. All the metals like silver, aluminium, copper, they are good ohmic resistors or ohmic conductors. Then next step they will ask you, what does the slope of VI graph represent? Again from here see slope is coordinate of y divided by coordinate of x. So what is coordinate of y here now? That is v. What is coordinate of x here? That is I. So here slope will be equal to v divided by I, and I think that is equal to r. So the slope of vi graph will be equal to r, and you can find out, you can take any 2 points that we have shown VA, VB. In the same way, on the x-axis they have mentioned here C and D. Then beta, here you can find out VA minus VB divided by IC minus IB. When you will put the values here, some points are there, you will substitute the values here, you will get the slope, and that slope will be equal to resistance of the conductor, and its unit will be ohm. Then beta, for the non-ohmic conductors or for the non-ohmic resistors, the graph will not be, VI graph will not be a straight line, it will be a curve. And that curve, maybe it is starting from the origin, or maybe it is not starting from the origin. So it is not necessary, but for ohmic, that must be compulsory, that is necessary. The graph must start from the origin. Then beta, from here how we will find the value of resistance? In math you are studying, when curve shape is there, then we are drawing a tangent beta. Tangent means a straight line which just touches the curved part. And then like in the first graph we did, you will take any 2 points on the y-axis, you will take any 2 points on the x-axis, then you will find the slope by the same method, and it will give you the resistance. But beta, one more difference is there, like for ohmic, for this experiment, for ohmic conductors, for ohmic resistors, this R was coming constant, same value for every set. But for non-ohmic conductors or non-ohmic resistors, the R will not be same. The R will change for every set. So these points you have to keep in your mind for ohmic conductors or ohmic resistors, or for that one non-ohmic resistors or non-ohmic resistors. Then next one is beta, they can ask you why we are preferring copper and aluminium, why we are not using silver. Silver is having least resistance. Then why we are not preferring it? Then what answer you will give? Because silver is costly. So we have to, that aluminium and copper are cheaper one. So we have to prefer that. Then next one beta, when we will find the value of R from this graph for non-ohmic resistors, that resistance is called as dynamic resistance. Dynamic resistance means whose magnitude is not constant, which is not constant, which is variable. Then its examples are beta transistors, diodes, they are non-ohmic